So thank you once again, Konstantinos, for attending the meeting today. Actually, your contribution is of very high importance for the scope of the research. And I believe that the outcome would be really engaging and insightful. So I'm appreciating a lot your time and contribution.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
My pleasure. Actually, I would start with some more generic questions, and we're gonna narrow them down based to what the scope of the research is. And if you're ready, we can actually start.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is if you can give me an overview of your business and the mission of the business.
Yes. So the business inspired from some Western countries of Europe, and we see that Greece is a country with high tourism, and the food waste is very high, probably contributed by tourism also. And so we see that it's a great market to introduce a project like that. And actually, it's social because it's very cheap food, and also beneficial for the environment because it decreases food waste significantly.
True. Yeah, it's a really good opportunity, I believe, as well, as a person who lives in Greece. Considering the amount of tourism we have in here, I believe that there is a huge impact on what you're doing here. Um, and that draws to the second question that I have, which is what specific types of food products do you sell or promote that would be considered, let's say, perishable or suboptimal?
Yes, so mystery pot is easier to approach shops like coffee snacks, like bakeries, like some restaurants that have already prepared food. So actually, it's proportional to the prepared food that someone has, because we see that people want more and more products. They want more and more diversity. For example, like let's say 10 years ago in Greece, you go to supermarket, you see uh, 10 different kind of breads. Now you see 10 brands of breads, and each brands have 10 different bread types. So we have much more products, and probably that's why we have also much more waste. We estimate it's around 40% of the production.
Great. And because you mentioned that consumers are looking for more products and more availability within the market, um, and considering the huge product portfolio, how do you currently promote your products and your offerings through digital channels?
Okay, so because we started as a startup, as a bootstrap startup, we didn't fund yet. So we started to search for the most economic and impactful ways to marketing. And we see that actually the most beneficial way was by users unboxing the mystery pot. So even the algorithm of this social media now it's kind of trained. So maybe you need to pay them and advertise, or if a user will advertise by himself, that means that you have a great product, and this attracts more views.
True. Yeah. And on which social media channels are you online? Is that Facebook or Instagram or TikTok? Which is the most effective one to reach your audience?
We started to work to try to reach the most of the platforms. So we started from Instagram because it was very popular in Greece through the food industry, and then we tried TikTok, which actually helped us most of all to reach the customers, because we have two business. It's like B2B to the restaurants, and we have a product to B2C. So our model needs to grow the same time, because if you go to a city and you have just the restaurants and you don't have users, it's problem. and the other way around. If you just have users and no restaurants, it's also a big problem. And then TikTok helped us a lot because the algorithm show your video to new um, like customers. So
For
this one helped
exploration.
us a lot.
Yeah, for exploration phase.
Exactly.
Yeah. And for the content that you're creating, is there a specific messaging techniques that you're utilizing, such as emotional appeal or educational content? What kind of content are you creating?
We see that in our social media of the Mystery Pot channel, it helped us a lot the unboxing because it's quite like a surprise for the user. So every time you found another restaurant or another brand and you try it and you try new products, so it's like funny moment for the users and they do it videos by themselves. This helps us a lot. And also we see that from our side, if we do content related to food waste, like how you can save the food at home or how you can use the leftovers of fruits or vegetables, this kind of content also was beneficial for us.
Yeah, okay. So to summarize, we can say that the humor appeal and the educational content, along with that feeling of curiosity, what it will have inside, are the three main pillars within your content strategy.
Yes, exactly. The educational from our side, and I could say like the exploration and the mystery or surprise from the users,
Yeah,
because it works like we repost the videos or from actual users from the app, and this works like a natural advertisement. So it's
yeah,
even more impactful for the algorithm of social media.
yeah, that's definitely true. And what is your experience with targeting Generation Z? Because it's one of the biggest audiences within Instagram and TikTok. How do you approach communication with such demographics?
For us, this group is the most important, I would say, because our users, the average age is about less than 30 years old. And it's because new generations are more educated about sustainability, about the problem of environment, and even I could say about like to be more sustainable in a different way. For example, if you go to a generation or someone in the middle age in Greece, maybe they will not like this attitude to take the leftovers. Maybe they are. It's like shame for them, or it's a bit. Yeah, but for the generation, for the next generation, I think it's easier to adapt for that. So for them, it's like no shame about that, and they know in the core how beneficial it is for the environment.
Okay. And because we're diving deeper into that topic, do you believe that maybe also the price sensitivity is another motivation for them to shift their behavior towards sustainable food consumption?
Of course, yes. I think it's also because the younger generation are not have a large income, so for them they look for better prices. And but I think it's the combination of all. So actually, it's an app, and the apps are like the generations that are born with apps are much easier for them to adapt this. And also the price of mystery pot and the concept of surprise, and also the reward that you have from the environment. This is also very important for them. So I think the combination of all is making product great.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Thank you for sharing that. So now we are able to have like a framework of what actually is the experience when it comes to targeting Generation Z within Greece. Um, And do you have like a example of digital marketing campaign that Mystery Box has run related to food waste reduction?
Yes, we some campaigns that we did were about yes, as I mentioned before, how to save the food waste from the household, like take some vegetables and put them in the freezer, or put some water and keep them in the fridge, and then it will be like to expand their lifespan in the fridge, and stuff like that helped us a lot. And yes, we also did some videos with collaborating with influencers, and probably they visit a partner shop of Mystery Pot that also contribute for the food waste, and they do an ad uh, for the partner and Mystery Pot in the same time.
So there was a double contribution, let's say.
That's also help, yeah.
Yeah, and what worked well in that campaign and what didn't work well?
Um, Even I think the best campaign that we had was with influencers with a lot of followers doing videos naturally, and this worked very well. And but we see that if we do something repetitive, it starts to not work very well. So social media actually wants you to innovate every time, to do something new and explore this field. That's why it's also interesting, because people want new stuff every time.
Yeah, actually, even me as a Generation Z representative, I would say that we're always looking for something new. We don't like seeing repetitive content or repetitive messaging. It's for us, it's really important for brands and companies always to show up with something new, something innovative, and we don't really realize that for businesses it takes a lot of time and effort and resources to design something unique every time.
Exactly. And as we see now, the big companies try to put the product in a video of influencer, like not very shown. Like it's like they're not really advertising this.
Yeah, that's
So
another thing. Yeah.
this is one thing. And also we now I started to experimenting with personal branding. So I want to kind of marketing also the product through the co-founders, for example. It's also a new technique, but we will see, because now I'm very new on that.
Yeah, it's early stage now.
Yeah.
And how do you measure the impact of success of your digital marketing initiatives?
For us, the actually we checked by our sales and our downloads. So when we, for example, had our most viral videos in TikTok or Instagram, we see that our downloads like making a spike this day that the video launched, and then it drops, and then it stays a bit higher than the previous. So every video it's like a stepping stone that increasing our popularity.
And what about engagement?
Yes, it's proportional. So we see that people, if they buy a mystery pot, they love it, and then they have a high repetitive buyer percentage. So it's around 40% of users will buy a second one.
Yeah. Okay. Um, and as we are speaking of buyers and repetitive purchases, um, what kind of feedback have you received from consumers about your efforts and your mission?
We see that customers love it, so they ask us more restaurants and more companies and more cities to introduce. But the difficult part for us is to attract the restaurants and the shops themselves, because we need to speak like door to door and explain the app to some generations that are maybe older, and it will be more difficult for that. But I think for the users, it's great because it's this the concept of mystery and also to try something very cheap. Yeah, it's like a game for them.
Yeah, and it's not a big risk for the consumer when it comes to purchasing such products and items themselves.
Yes, exactly. Because for me, it was also shocking when I heard this concept in Western Europe. But when I tried, I really realized that the food is super fresh. It's not like even if you have a baked food that this day produced, it's totally fresh at night or tomorrow. But people, because normally when they want for go for breakfast, they want very super fresh food. So most of the restaurants and coffee snacks they will waste it because no one will buy the yesterday cheese pie, for example,
Yeah,
tiropita.
I think that's
Yeah.
a mentality that we have here in Southeastern Europe, that people are not they don't have the perception that it will be the same quality even on the next day. So they
Yes,
straight away to be freshly taken out of the oven.
exactly, exactly. We are kind of spoiled on that, right? Because even if our grandma will make a cheese pie at home, we will eat the cheese pie next day also, right?
Yeah,
It will not be, exactly. It will not be any problem on that.
yeah, that's a big challenge that we're facing now in that part of the world. But let's hope that with the scope of the research and further research after that, we will be able to some kind shift.
Yes, actually, I could share a number with you. For example, with apps like Mystery Pot in a bakery or a coffee snack, the food waste decreased even by 80%. So it's a very big impact for them.
Yeah, that's a huge contribution actually.
Yeah.
Really impressive. You mentioned previously that you collaborated with some influencers. But how about NGOs? Do they somehow try to collaborate with the mystery report? Do they have contribution to awareness of mystery report or building trust?
Yes, we had some collaborations also. We collaborated with Borume. It's the largest actually NGO in Greece about food waste, and many supermarkets and shops are registered there, and they collect actually the food and they deliver it to some other organizations that maybe need this food. And so we are part of this. And also we had help from some other organizations that support startups, for example, like accelerators, or for example, the accelerator that we worked with was from the organization that is about all the hoteliers in Greece. It's actually not really an NGO, but it helps. Some startups are in the field of tourism, and yes, we also try to actually NGOs work also as a good marketing because of the social impact.
Yeah, and the recognition.
Yes.
And what do you think is the main challenge of promoting food waste reduction and suboptimal foods in digital channels?
I think for us the most difficult was how to make the ads to attract the businesses, because many businesses use it, but actually, if you want to collaborate with someone, they prefer to visit them or to make an appointment with them, or so probably we need to still buzzing in the B2C and in the social media. So if they will listen our name or our logo a lot, so it will be easier to reach. But I think this challenge is for all the businesses. If you because we see that if as more collaborations we have, it's also more users. So it's really depends on that.
Makes total sense. Yeah, it increases the brand awareness and you get credibility as well.
Exactly. And also, I think about this topic. The problem is that still the big players in Greece, they didn't realize that actually through the mystery pot, they don't only not only sell the excess food, even the hotels or they have a lot of food waste. Actually, they put like their brand that is sustainable, that this brand reducing waste, so actually new users will come, or the same users will buy again from you because you support the environment. So this is something that most of the businesses in Greece or in general this area, they didn't realize this a lot.
Yeah, and maybe if we look it from consumers' perspective, I think that we have the mentality that we don't really trust that someone is making sustainable efforts to, let's say, leave a positive impact in the environment. At least that's what I have perceived during my studies and through all the cases that we went through. People are still not sure that even if the company positions a sustainable company, and as long as they don't have the proof, the numbers, the reports, they don't believe that they're actually contributing to those things. So I think that's another challenge.
Yes, exactly. And in this topic, we created in our app. If a user went to a settings, we have a page there, like showing exactly with let's say 10 mystery pods that you ever bought, how much CO2 you save from environment and how much like convenient to energy or your impact actually to the environment through your. So this also is like a reward for the user
Yeah, that's true. That's
to show
definitely
them.
true. And
Yeah.
do you, how do you believe that cultural attitudes or economic conditions in Greece affect consumers and how they respond to your campaigns?
Um, Now I had a problem in the connection. You said about culture, right? The first
Yes.
question.
Um,
Cul-
yes. How do cultural attitudes or the condition of the economy in Greece affect the
Our
consumption?
business.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's important to see how the culture actually works because, for example, some practices of sustainability, like I, for example, moved through the city with electric scooter, and in Greece still the people, for them it's something strange, and or they don't use bicycle a lot because compared to other countries who are more adapted to that, the culture of Greece is not very into sustainability. So I think it's like a business building now. Okay, maybe we affect only the innovators or the people who are really into this, but through the time, I think more and more people will understand this issue. So it's like new, but we build it for the future. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you build trust with consumers when promoting products which might be near to expiry date or they have defect appearance, let's say?
I think one crucial thing for us is to keep the prices very low because some similar apps like us in Eastern Europe, they have a price of 50% discount, but we consisted to stay in the one third in like 66% discount because when you take something not so fresh and you also don't pick exactly what you will eat, people want to have more quantity of food. So maybe they have also more options to eat, or if they don't like something to eat, to not feel that they paid for something that they don't like. So that's why we consist on that. Yeah. So it must be very cheap, I think, for this niche market of people who are willing to pay a small amount and also contributing to the environment.
True. And
Yeah.
do you believe that digital marketing can influence consumer behavior when it comes to reducing food waste?
Yes, I totally agree with that because I think the future is digital marketing, the social media, and everything that we can do now is has greater impact in the social media. For example, if I go now to a physical event and show to people, it will be very difficult to talk to 500 people, for example, right? But with a video, it's possible to talk to 500,000 people, and it's much more impact on that. So I think people must educate through the social media. So it's always good to show something educational to people, not only your product, but to give a real value to the viewer, and then somehow fix it to your product.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And last but not least, is the following question: what lesson or managerial insight has your organization gained from using social media, and how have these strategies shaped your digital marketing approach?
Okay, I think something that we learn from social media, and new companies that are coming now to social media, they have to learn that the more haters you have, the greater you are. I
Yeah.
think even every video that you will make, you cannot, not everyone will like you. So whatever product you have, you will have some people that will not like you, and usually when they start to yell at you or comment something bad, that means that you have much more people who are like your product, but they didn't comment. So people, a lot of people are afraid of social media because of that. So they think that if a hater writes something, they will mark us as a bad for our brand name. But this is totally opposite.
Great last messaging. Thank you so much for the interview, and thank you for your time, for the valuable insights. And I'm wishing you all the best in all your new endeavors. And thank you for your contribution.
Thank you very much, Laura, for this interview and for these interesting questions. I hope you a great career.
Thank you too.